Good morning, folks. It's your bro Richie. It's your bro Richie Rich here. So it's your bro Richie Rich here. Good morning to you all. Today in this video is now part 2 on the So it's part 2 on the California Special Mustang, and today in this video is now the turn of the next part, which is the Shelby inspired Mustangs. So before I start, I just want to say I just wanted to apologize for the last video because excuse me, because I didn't end the video yet, because my battery just cut out. My battery died before I even had a chance. So I briefly apologize if I hadn't, but you all know, like, you know how it pretty much goes throughout the channel. But yeah, I'll tell you even at the start as well, just so you don't forget. So, before I start, make sure you guys all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Now, hit the notification bell, and hit all. And so hit all so you're alerted of when I make. Ow, brain your uploads. Ow. So I'm still tired from yesterday because I stayed up almost all night. You know, just doing this. It's a lot of hard work, you know, doing YouTube, because being a YouTuber is legit the toughest thing ever to do. It's legit the hardest tasks anyone has ever done throughout their entire years on YouTube. It's just wild. Yep, I might need a haircut soon, but I'll sort that out for myself when I have the time. Don't worry, you will see what I look like with a haircut. Don't worry, it will happen soon. Don't worry, I promise. So, before I start, make sure you guys all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you to make brand new uploads. Alright, so without any further ado, let's begin. So the Shelby inspired Mustang, starting off with the first one is Little Red. Lee Gray here we go. So Lee Gray attended the Ford preview, or FP, Ford preview event for the new 68 Fords at the LA or Los Angeles Coliseum. At the Los Angeles Coliseum? I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's spelled C-O-L-I-S-E Coliseum? I think, I don't know, but it's spelled C-O-L, so it's a eight letter word, so it's spelled C-O-L-I-S-E-U-M in August 1967, when he saw a Shelby GT 500 prototype coupe named when he saw a Shelby GT 500 prototype coupe named Little Red. This was a supercharged 7-liter 428 C6 automatic coupe. Not the Corvette C6, but the Ford C6 gearbox, which was a heavy-duty automatic built by FMC between 1966 and 2004. There's a little bit about this, actually. It was marketed as the Select Shift Cruise-O-Matic, compared to its predecessor, the MX gearbox, which was a Cruise-O-Matic, normal one. The C6 offered a lower weight, so it was lighter, but also with less complexity, less parasitic power loss, so it doesn't lose that much power, and greater torque capacity for larger motors. It did this without exceeding the package dimensions of the MX. These design goals were in line with those of the C4 for smaller motors. It was given the name Select Shift. It was given the name Select Shift because if the gearbox were placed in either first or second gear, it would use the only gear selected. In other words, it would immediately activate the gear rather than initiating a sequence of shifts to arrive at it, whether from a standing stop, so either from a standing stop or like in motion. So either while you're like fully stopped or you just continue driving. This was very helpful when driving in limited traction situations. When the torque of the motor would gradually move the car, or if motor braking were needed on a downward incline. Once the gearbox was placed in third gear, all three gears would be used in a normal fashion. So like, it would be just used normally, technically. So this was a supercharged 7-liter 426. Not 426, sorry, that's. God, I'm just still tired. So this was a supercharged. This was a supercharged 7-liter 426 V8 with a C6 automatic. This is a supercharged 7-liter 428 V8 C6 automatic coupe that was dressed up in bright red paint and a vinyl roof as a formal yet high performance vehicle. It was on display to gauge market response as a possible Shelby lineup Mustang. Lee saw this as Lee saw this as an opportunity to use the elements of his prototype to market his California only Mustang. He met with Lee Iacocca. For those who don't know who he is, God rest his soul. He was born October 15th, 1924, and is in his hometown in the city of Allentown in eastern, in like East Pennsylvania, something like that. He passed away at age 94, on July 2nd, 2019, in Los Angeles, California. Cause of passing was complications of Parkinson's disease. And his funeral mass was held on July 10th. Um, 8 days, 8 days after he passed away. So his funeral mass was held on July 10th, 2019, at Saint Hugo of the Hills Catholic Church, and he is buried at Whitechapel Memorial Cemetery. At the Whitechapel Memorial Cemetery in the city of Troy in Oakland County, Michigan, about 15 miles north of downtown Detroit. God rest his soul, may rest in peace. If he was born in Pennsylvania, then why did he get buried in Michigan? Was it closer? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, they could have buried his body at his hometown, Pennsylvania. That would make much more sense. But in Michigan, I don't know, man. That part confuses me a little bit. I'm just saying, man. Like, ow, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just tired to even explain this. My God. I don't know. I mean, like. mean, they could have buried his body at his hometown because obviously he was born at his place. I mean, he was born in Pennsylvania. I mean, he could have been buried in Pennsylvania, but they buried his body in Michigan. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that, but I don't know. Anyways. So sorry I'm sounding different because I've been coughing a lot. It's getting worse and worse and worse for me. I'm just trying to cure as much as I can. But I don't know. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get better. But I'm not too sure because of this cold. Literally, it's easy to get sick from this freezing cold outside, from these like below temperatures. It's really easy to get sick. There's no joke, literally. Like for these winter times, it's really easy to get. It's really easy to catch a cold from this. No joke. Okay, I might have not worn like a scarf and hat. That might be the thing. Well, at least I had a coat on at least. But I might have not worn a jacket. I mean, I did. What I'm trying to say is that I might have not worn a hat and scarf. I think that was the issue. Yeah, it was a bit of an issue. Like I didn't wear like proper winter stuff like hats, scarves, gloves. Well, I don't really need gloves anyway. But even though my hands will freeze like hell, but I'm fine. Yep. Okay, I forgot what part am I. I'm just gonna reset. All right, Lee Gray attended the Ford preview event, for the new, '68 Fords at the LA, uh, Coliseum. Uh, Coliseum. I still can't pronounce it correctly. In August 1967, when he saw where he saw where he saw a Shelby GT 500 prototype, coupe nicknamed Little Red. Little Red. This is a supercharged. This is a supercharged 7 liter 428 V8 with a C6 automatic. This is a supercharged 7 liter 426 V8 Ford C6 automatic coupe. So Ford C6 automatic coupe. So Ford C6 automatic coupe, as possibly a 3-speed, 4-speed, I think. I'm not so sure, or even a 2-speed. So Ford C6 automatic coupe that was dressed up in a bright red paint and a vinyl roof as a formal. So in both bright red paint and a vinyl roof as a formal yet high performance as a formal yet high performance car. It was on display to gauge market response as a possible Shelby lineup Mustang. Lee saw this as an opportunity, to use the elements of this prototype to market his California-only Mustang. He met with Lee Iacocca, God rest his soul, may rest in peace, in LA, and the decision was made. and the decision was made to bring the car to Dearborn in Michigan to develop into a limited edition Mustang. First it was known as the GTSC, now supercharged, as a nationality available sport coupe. Then after some discussion, developed as the GTCS. For those who don't know who Lee Iacocca is, I'll tell you who he is. he was an American. So God rest his soul, rest in peace. His full name was Ledo Anthony Lee Iacocca. He was an American author, engineer, and an executive who developed the Mustang, the Lincoln Continental Mark III, and the Ford Pinto, which, as you all know, it was designed to be rear-ended because basically they put the fuel tank above the rear axle. So when you get rear-ended in an accident at the back of the car, poof, just poof, bursts into flames. I bet that's why they made the Pinto popular back at that time because of that. I'm not 100% sure. Like, I really hate the Ford Pintos. They just don't really look that cool at all. They're not really sporty. They don't do any versions with them. Not even with a V8 or anything like that. Just a crappy four-cylinder. So he was an American author, engineer, and an executive who developed the Mustang. So the Mustang, Lincoln Continental Mark III, brilliant muscle car, and the Ford Pinto cars while at the FMC in the 60s, and then revived the Chrysler Corporation as its CEO during the 1980s. So during the 80s, he was president of Chrysler from 1978 to 1991. So around 13 years, which is not bad. So from 1978 to 1981, and both chairman and CEO, so both chairman and CEO from 1979 until his retirement at the end of 1992. So until his retirement at the end of 1992, so during the early 1990s, he was one of the few executives. He was one of the few executives to preside over the op- so he was one of the few executives to preside over the operations of two of the United States' big three automakers. He authored, or co-authored, as I should say, several books, including Iacocca, an autobiography with William Novak, and Where Have All the Leaders Gone? Interesting. And so back to the Mustang, the Shelby inspired one for Little Red. Little Red was long, long thought, long thought to have been crushed, but was discovered in early 2018, after missing for over 50 years. 5 decades. That's crazy. 50 years. So presumably it might have went off the grid somewhere around 1968, something like that, because it got discovered in 2018. So surely in 1968, when it was made, it went boof straight off the grid. Something like that. Anyway, so Little Red was long thought. Sorry. So yeah, Little Red was thought to. So Little Red was long thought to have been crushed, but was discovered in early 2018 after missing for over 50 years. So after missing for over 50 years, Craig Jackson tracked it down. Craig Jackson tracked it down using Ford's registered VIN, as opposed to using the Shelby VIN, which had been used to track it up until until this time in order to until this time in order to track the car down. So until this time in order to track down the car, it was running away. It was running away in an open field in Weatherford, Texas. So it was running away. It was running away in an. It was running away. So it was running away. So it was running away in an open field in Weatherford, Texas, after being passed around by numerous owners, because it does happen at times to times with cars like these. They get passed around to different owners and they treat it differently with their own ways. And then some people restore them, some people just treat them like crap. But it happens like this. Not just Mustangs, but every car around the world, mostly in the US. So it was running away in it. So it was running away in an. It was running away in an open field in weather. It was running away. running away in an open field in Weatherford, Texas, after being passed around by numerous owners. Plans plans are plans are to restore Little Red to its previous glory, so like its pristine condition and whatnot. All right, so the next version we got is the Shelby Automotive and the GTCS. Shelby Automotive, now part of Ford, was assigned to trek to was assigned the task of both designing and engineering uh, both the necessary parts and assembly procedures for the GTCS. This was done right alongside the development of their 68 Shelby. Um, the fiberglass parts were crafted at A.O. Smith in Ionia, Michigan, in steel molds. Not the usual fiberglass, but steel molds this time. A.O. Smith was also the same OEM manufacturer for the Corvette for the Corvette fiberglass bodies. The fiberglass parts for the fiberglass parts for the GTCS included the rear deck lid and end caps, tail light panel, and side scoops for right hand and left hand side. Next one, not sure about the name of this one. This last one is Green Hornet. Green Hornet. Okay, I've heard of this name before, but I'm not sure what it really meant. But it was like the when I think of Green Hornet, I think of like usually like either a helicopter or some I don't know some like jet fighter or something. I got no idea. But anyways, so that's the last one. So anyways, on April 4th, 1968, during production of the G during pro- so on April 4th, 1968, during production of the GTCS, a second Shelby Coupe prototype, the Green Hornet EXP 500 was built by Shelby Automotive, based sorry was built by Shelby Automotive based on a GTCS purchased from Ford. The company wanted to test a number of developments, so it removed the original 6.4 liter 390 big block V8 for a 7 liter 428 CJ big block. So for a 7 liter 428 CJ big block V8 with a with a with with Conelec, spelled CONELEC. So Conelec, I think, or Conelec, I don't know how you pronounce it. Fuel injection, six speed automatic, designed in house, independent rear suspension, brake rotors on all four sides, and side stripes. Both Little Red and the Green Hornet the only two Shelby the only two Shelby coupes. So the only two Shelby coupes produced, other than the race only 19 other than the race only other than the race only 67 coupes. Both both were prototypes. All other Shelby Mustangs were fastbacks or convertibles. Green Hornet, however, has been kept in good condition. The Green Hornet Mustang was later later owned by both Barrett Jackson. So was the Green Hornet Mustang was later owned by both Barrett Jackson, chairman and CEO. So both chairman and CEO. So CEO Craig Jackson. Craig Jackson, and went on sale at Barrett Jackson at the Barrett Jackson 2013. So Barrett Jackson 2013 Scottsdale auction in Arizona. But unfortunately, the sales failed. But the sales unfortunately failed when the high bid of $1.8 million was lower than the consignor's reserve price. Than the consignor's than the consignor's reserve price. In Nerve Center, this is last part and I'll end it for now. So last part and I'll end it for now. In Nerve Center episode, Barrett Jackson in Nerve Center episode, Barrett Jackson collector car auction. It was revealed the reserve price was $2.5 million. So $2.5 million technically. All right, so that'll be it for now. I'll be back a little bit. I'll be back in a bit. So for my next CS Mustang video will be about the features. So it's not gonna be much on there, but oh well. I'll see what I can do for that. All right, so that'll be it. If you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment below what y'all think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you later when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so that'll be it for now. I'll see you guys a little later for the next video. Till then, stay safe, have a great morning, and have a great day, and I'll see you guys in a bit for the next video. Okay, so yeah, take care folks, stay safe out there. I'll see you guys later. Peace.